welcome this week to The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
I'm Lauren.
We have a great show for you. It's going to be so much fun.
So much fun.
So much fun.
A little bit different than normal, you know.
So was our pole dancing show, though.
True. We're mixing it up these days.
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yes. So tonight is our healing art. We're at the Healing Art Center, so we're going to do some healing art.
Everything's coming full circle tonight. We're making it officially the Healing Art Studio now. So it's, because this is something in the beginning I know that you were manifesting, having these classes here, which is awesome, and I couldn't wait for those, and it's just kind of no accident that it's happening now. So it's beautiful.
I have to tell my little manifesting law of attraction story, which I love law of attraction if you haven't heard of that. But it's what you think about comes about. And so I focused vision boards, that kind of thing. I focused on a long time on having an art studio, and one day my art studio is in my dining room at home, and it was just kind of overflowing. And so I thought, you know what, I would love to have an art studio. And then this house was funny because I used to live in the condos down the street. We're on Stony Brook. We overlook the Three Cross Church, so you can come check us out. But it kind of turned out that we were looking for a new spot. We were over in Willow Creek, and then I was like, oh man, when I lived over here in the condos, I had walked around the periphery there or went out for runs and stuff. I saw this house, big 3-story gray house. I was like, someday I want to be in that house. And I didn't even know how or in what capacity, but I just loved that house, and I would drive by it sometimes and be like, man, that's a great house.
Like, I'm going to own you
someday. So when we had to move, it turned out that I was like, well, why wouldn't I have something where we can have our TV studio? Why wouldn't I have something where we could do like cooking classes and stuff like that? Why wouldn't I do something where I could have my TV studio? And I live pretty far out on the lake, so it's like if the weather was bad, why not have some place that could stay when the weather's bad? And so
that's just something very homey and comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, homey and comfortable. Yeah. Absolutely was important. So started looking on the market, and this house was available. I'm like, no way. I mean, I had to do a double take. I was like, what? And so this is like the Duggar house. They say they actually have their name carved out in the driveway. So I guess they had done part of their show here as well. So it's a big house. And so it just happened. And then, really long story, even longer, I wanted the right teacher in the art studio, and I wanted her to be amazing and world famous and just so talented, and somebody that was easygoing and who believed in art as healing. And we went through a few art teachers and didn't actually hire them. One of them actually came and tried one day, but it just didn't work out. It just didn't feel right.
We just had to have someone that really fit.
So we wanted to get somebody who really fit, and I got introduced to an amazing art teacher in Fayetteville. Her name is Jane.
Go Jane!
Go Jane! And so we just got to know her, started going to art classes. Then Lauren started going to art classes with me, and it was just a beautiful, amazing experience. And I believe our art talent, me anyway, I believe my art talent really soared with her.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm like watching all the stuff you're doing. I'm like, I want to do that. Like, but art is one of those things. Like, you know, you're like, I can't even draw stick figures.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
And I feel you, because that is exactly. I mean, I can hardly write legibly. Thank goodness for technology, because it's like you can't even read my letters. But it's so like it's just a matter of understanding the way that art works, because it's not like, yes, people I feel are born like maybe gifted to a certain level,
absolutely.
But then these are also things that you can learn, which I had no idea. Like the things that I've painted, which I was talking about like on the last show with Jane that she's helped me with. I mean, it amazes me, and I search for things in life that I can actually surprise myself in. And constantly, and it's hard to actually find things that I can continue to surprise myself on, because I try to do everything, and so like something like that, and being able to really figure out and understand like the way that finding this new perspective and this being able to create
perspective. You're the perspective girl, so yeah,
being able to create this perspective based on a on a 2D platform. I guess it's what you would call a paintboard. What do you call it? A canvas. It's just so cool, and Jane helps me understand it, and so I'm so excited that she's here and that she's teaching classes, and I'm excited for the world to be able to get in here and get some classes from her, and get some training from her.
One of the things, talk about perspective, that I realized, and I love your posts on our Facebook pages, Go the Naked Doctor, but one of the things I realized the other night, and I did a post on it, was everything's about layers. Because I was looking at some of the paintings that I'm in the process of, and so what you do is you put on a layer, let it dry, put on another layer, let it dry, and it's the layers that come to life. And that's the way life is.
Totally.
You start out with this blank slate, then you put another layer on, and when you really step into your awakeness, I like to say, you've got some really rich layers, and it looks like crap. Those first few layers look like crap. So it's like, give yourself a break, because the first few layers, we call it mistakes. I don't believe in mistakes, but you'll go through some relationship.
They're just a piece of the entire picture. You know what I mean? Every layer that's what it is that just because your layer may appear a certain way at this point doesn't mean that the picture that it can be created out of it can't be an absolute masterpiece and beautiful on all levels, in depth of beauty. And then you'll look back at that layer and be like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe that, like, I thought that was me. It was just part of me, you know what I mean? And so I did these other things. So it's the same way that I edit these videos, the show. I edit in layers, you know what I mean? I lay the first part down, and you change the lighting and add, whatever kind of value in there. So yeah, it's cool. It really is.
And I love it, because one of the first things Jane told me, and I used to say this in the medical practice of, my day job being a doctor, I used to tell my nurses, there's nothing you can do that I can't fix. So don't be scared. Don't be afraid of, doing an injection wrong or something. I can fix it. Same way in art. It's like, if you make a mistake, you can paint over it. And I think that's what we do in life. Sometimes we think, well, they're not even mistakes, but sometimes we make choices we don't like.
We'll avoid doing it, just to not do it, just because we don't want to do it the wrong way, or we don't want to fail.
I think you got to be perfect.
There's never failure. Everything is part of your layers. Everything is learning. Everything is, the only failures there are lessons that were unlearned. Right. I heard that on something.
Or failure is stuff that you didn't do when you wanted to, or you wanted to have an experience.
Those are regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah. No regrets, come paint.
No regrets, come paint. Yeah, and as far as stick figures, Jane can take you, if you can't draw, if you say you can't draw, she can draw it out for you, and then you paint it, and it's just an experience of getting your confidence up. And then I saw you draw a picture last week. I didn't even know you had that kind of drawing talent.
The outline?
Without the outline, without Jane doing it. Oh. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, Jane will help you turn your stick figures into a body of a goddess.
Right. So if you want some...
Just look at Tammy's paintings. They're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to go see that next.
Yeah. Go on our Facebook page. I actually have a Facebook page called Create Something Beautiful, and you can go see all our paintings, and you can add your artwork. Everyone's an artist. It's so hard sometimes to admit that you're an artist, but everyone's an artist. So maybe you're a beautician and you do hair, or
everyone's creative.
Maybe you're a teacher and you teach children. Or
I feel like our passion lies within our creativity.
Absolutely.
And it's
we're here to create things. We're creators. Yeah, absolutely. We're connected to the Creator. Yeah. We're creators.
Totally.
So it's probably time to take a little break. We are going to actually film in our art class tonight, so you'll see the experience and get to feel firsthand. It's one of the things that I've talked to Jane about, and she does. It's cool because she's world famous for her celebrity dogs. She said that one day she was in the checkout line at the grocery store and she saw the tabloid magazines, and she's like, oh, this is so boring, which is a part of creativity. She said, what if they had dogs and cats' faces? And so she started painting all these celebrities with dog and cat faces, and I'll make sure you've got a picture of my dog that I have at home, so you guys can see what she does. But absolutely beautiful stuff, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
So, I think that just the whole experience of having someone beautiful, believes in healing, who has life processes too, things she's been through, to add to her story. But I was telling her, I want her to have her own tutorial YouTube channel, because education is so great. Yeah. Coming soon. I want a coffee table book for her, and I want her to tell her story, because her story is beautiful, and she's had her own scars and scabs, just like we all have. So making something beautiful. And then the last thing I want to say is that painting for me is meditation. So whatever your meditation is, it's a time to quiet your mind. I love to drink a little wine, put on some my favorite music, and I just lose track of time. Even when we're in class.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't want it to be, 9:30, and it goes so fast.
I can't. It shocks me every time. I'm like, what? It's already been 3 hours. No, I mean, it's like, because seriously, like, it's almost like it's one of those things that in the past where I wouldn't have had the patience to feel like to sit down, which is probably why I've never really even
meditated.
Got into that, like,
yeah.
I mean, it is every time I'm there, it's like time does not exist, I'm like, I could paint forever.
That's what meditation is, clearing your head so that you can fill it with more productive things.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sure it's time for a break because we want to have plenty of time to show you some stuff from the art class. Yeah. So we'll be right back with the Naked Doctor.
I fell 18.5 feet, scattered my right ankle into 23 different pieces. And that, of course, affected my knees, which affected my hips. And then I have a back injury and a neck injury and a shoulder injury. And I was in severe pain most all day until I could actually lay down and get off of my body. The stem cell therapies within hours actually turned around to where I felt like almost 90% of the pain in my body was gone. I could walk. I could walk without pain. I then came back and did a stem cell IV, which came in and affected all of the other parts of my body, and at one time I was a smoker. Since then I have felt a large difference in my lung capacity, in my breathing, in my stamina. It's the most amazing thing that I've ever come across in my life. And one of the things that I say is you will love Dr. Tammy. She is the sweetest person you'll ever meet, and she is not your typical doctor. She makes you feel like you're at home. She actually gets to know her patients, knows their lifestyle, and tries to work her treatments with your lifestyle so that you are happier and more productive on what you're doing.
I've been painting since I was 13. Well, sooner than that, I was doing watercolors when I was 5, 6, 7, and then I got a set of oils at 13, and I never put them down. And then I took lessons for a year at the age of 17 with an older gentleman that actually restored old masters, and that taught me the a technique. Before I was just mixing color and putting on the canvas, but didn't know what I was doing. So after I took lessons for a year, I understood the technique behind oil painting, and then the rest is on my own. I think I built confidence even at the age of 5 because my grandparents tell me everything was beautiful. It probably wasn't, but they said it was, and I believed them. So I built the confidence then, and I used to paint and draw my friends' portraits at that age. Well, not 5, about 9, 10. I used to draw their portraits, and I get a good likeness at that age. So I knew then that I could do it. I started off doing murals, and actually in TV, and doing a lot of set work, and then I had to start having children, so it was in between babies. I would do these murals and different projects. It wasn't until my children were all in school that I started doing portrait work, for actually serious portrait work for resale, and so I've been torn between the portraits and the mural work. I love them both.
One of the things that I know that you got some recognition on was painting the animal heads on the human bodies.
The human bodies.
How did that get started?
That was in boredom, standing in a Walmart checkout line, looking at tabloids and kind of disgusted with tabloids and thinking I'd rather be reading about dogs. And I started thinking, I'm going to put dogs' heads on these movie stars and make it kind of fun. So now it's become my therapy for myself. It's when I have a bad day, I paint a dog as a celebrity. You lose all sense of time when you're painting. You don't focus on anything but the painting, and it gives your brain time to just rest, because I didn't realize how important it was, but raising my 4 daughters, I thought, how did I get through it? Because they did everything they possibly could do, that 4 daughters could do. And I look back and I realized I'd just go paint. And then I wouldn't focus on what they were going through and what they were putting me through. And I realized it was an escape.
So for people who, you hear a lot, I can't even draw stick figures. What would you say to that person who says that?
You don't have to be able to draw to put paint on canvas. And you can start off with something very impressionistic, very contemporary, and you don't need to draw to paint. However, if you want to eventually get into realism, the painting will train the hand and eyes, just like practicing drawing. So as you paint, you will develop your eye and your drawing will get better. It works hand in hand. So you can start off with very impressionistic, very contemporary work and not have to draw. So, big old red canvas and a white dot.
Hi everyone, Dr. Tammy here with more tips to help you on your journey to feeling fabulous and reclaiming your health and wellness. Are you feeling the pain and embarrassment of gas, bloating, diarrhea, or irritable bowel syndrome? Battling hormonal imbalances such as PMS? Diagnosed with chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia? Feeling depressed? These symptoms and many more may point to what we call leaky gut. The intestine or gut naturally allows very small molecules to pass through it and absorbs vital nutrients from them. Regulating intestinal permeability is one of the basic functions of the cells that line the intestinal wall. Even if you ate veggies from the Garden of Eden, organic and rich with nutrients, you would still have to have a perfectly healthy digestive tract, stomach, and intestine to absorb the nutrients from it that you need. In sensitive people, gluten, a protein found in wheat, can cause the gut cells to release something called zonulin, a protein that breaks apart tight junctions in the intestinal lining. Other factors such as infections, toxins, stress can also cause these tight junctions to break apart. Once broken apart, you have leaky gut. When your gut is leaky, things like toxins, microbes, undigested food particles, and more can escape from your intestinal tract and travel through your body via your bloodstream. Your immune system marks these foreign invaders as pathogens and attacks them. So what is causing leaky gut? The main culprits are the wrong foods, infections, toxins, and gluten. Inflammatory foods like dairy or toxic foods such as sugar or preservatives may play a role as well as excessive alcohol. The most common infectious causes are yeast, intestinal parasites, and small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Toxins come in the form of medications like Motrin, Advil, steroids, antibiotics, and acid-reducing drugs. There are also environmental toxins like mercury, pesticides, and BPA from plastics. Stress can leak stomach acid into the intestines. Hormone changes wreak havoc as well. So, what can be done? Well, the good news is there's a solution to healing leaky gut and to reclaim your health. To keep it simple, I have developed a 4-step protocol that includes, number 1, remove foods and factors that damage the gut, such as sugars, grains, dairy, and GMO foods, non-organic foods, acidic substances like coffee, and drugs like ibuprofen, acid reducers, and non-essential antibiotics. And you can ask your doctor about medications you may not need. 2, replace with healing foods like bone broth, fermented vegetables, coconut, and super seeds like chia or flax. Also, consuming foods that have anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats are beneficial, like grass-fed beef, lamb, or wild-caught fish like salmon. Number 3, repair with specific supplements. These include specific amino acids, magnesium, digestive enzymes, probiotics, and anti-inflammatories. Certain amino acids act like gut spackling and protects and coats the intestinal wall, as well as anti-inflammatory, like aloe vera, licorice, resveratrol, and turmeric among may be recommended. Digestive enzymes ensure that food is fully digested, decreasing the chance of undigested foods traversing the leaky gut and causing the immune response. Magnesium relaxes smooth muscle in the gut, keeping things moving. Number 4, rebalance with probiotics. Last, but most importantly, this is the vital part to healing your gut. You must rebalance with the right probiotics.
Many on the market have the wrong ratio or have ingredients that may make your issues worse. It is essential to get at least 100 billion units of the right ratio of bacteria. If you can follow the above protocol, you are well on your way to healing your gut for good. Here's to reclaiming your health and wellness. We're just better at helping you feel better.
And we're back. Welcome to the art show today. We've had so much fun.
Yes.
We're on this couch now. I don't ever get to sit on the orange couch. I feel quite creative.
I invited her over.
Yes.
Because the sun was in her face.
It was. We had to adjust, right? That's all about creativity. You have to adjust sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's part of the layers.
Yeah. Check us out at healingartcenters.com, our Facebook page, The Naked Doctor.
Or Healing Art Centers. We also have one of those too.
.com, yeah. Facebook,
on
and
Facebook.
Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Follow us on there. Send us your questions and or topics or whatever if you'd like us to discuss on the show, or if you've got a show topic in hand that you, or in mind that you'd
come to your place to film. Come
that
film
too.
on location.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you have a business and you want us to come shoot our show there, and it makes sense, then we will.
Yeah, unless you like our Coca-Cola factory or something, probably not going to do that. But anything
they're
health
always
and
the
wellness,
one.
yeah.
Long as it's go.
So I got a quick story. I know she's going to have to edit this and probably keep this brief, but when I was little, I remember probably my earliest memory was about 3 or so. My mom wanted my brothers to go to med school, so she had all these medical encyclopedias, and we had a ton of National Geographics laying around. So there was no shortage of naked people on some level. They were like medical journals and National Geographics, but
I have different naked magazines laying around my house.
We'll talk about that.
Just kidding. Let it out.
So anyway, I'm drawing, coloring, and I draw a picture, and it's a man and woman. They're naked and anatomically correct. And I got so shamed. I mean, it was like my parents were so freaked out. It was like for the next 3 days, it was like, how, this is terrible. Don't ever, and they never even thought that there was like magazines laying around, right? I had to get it from somewhere.
Well, and also the fact that it's just our bodies.
I know. Why should we shame our bodies, right? The Naked Doctor, right? Naked truth about health, wellness, and lifestyle, but not naked.
But being naked, we're born naked.
We're born naked.
We die naked. So,
Exactly.
even if you have clothes on when you die, you still die naked.
That's right.
So, I mean, anyway.
It's not a bad thing.
So
but anyway, so I was so shamed, and a lot of times when we're shamed in life, we shut down and we stop doing things, even if it's something we love. And my mom and my brother were artists. They continued creating art, but I just, no way, didn't want anything to do with it. Then I had another experience a little bit later where I got some of my brother's blue airplane paint, decided I was going to try to paint again, and then I spilled it on my pink bedspread, pink carpet, blue everywhere. Then I tried to clean it up. It's airplane paint, smear it everywhere, and then about got beat to death for messing up my room with airplane paint that I wasn't supposed to sneak. Anyway, so 2 art experiences. I was completely shut down. Wouldn't take art in high school. Just, wouldn't touch it. Even in school when we'd be doing art, I would just do the minimum. Like, if I'd cut out squares or triangles, and that was about it. Maybe drawing it with a crayon or something. So literally, about 2 years ago, I decided that it was time. So the first thing that I started painting was naked people. And so part of my journey, healing, is to paint naked people. And my son was just walking through my art studio at home the other day, and he's like, Mom, why are you always painting naked people? And I'm like, because it's a part of me that is releasing shame, it's healing, and they're not all exactly naked. I mean, a lot of the women have clothes on or whatever, but
naked doesn't necessarily have to connotate sexual. You know what I mean? Naked is that is how like I said, we're born. It's natural, it's beautiful, and it's especially if in the way that you're doing it and you're releasing this this shame that you had. It's beautiful.
Just admiring, and it's almost empowering, because it's like we as women, when we're beautiful, sometimes we get shamed, right? And it's like society wants us to think we're bad if we show a little cleavage or a little skirt or something like that. And if you're beautiful, I believe that that you should be able to show that.
We have to remember that as women too, to not be shaming other people and not shame other women if we've been shamed, and understand that putting that shame or that pain on somebody else is not helping anybody. It's not healing. It's only really digressing any kind of growth that you could be having.
Absolutely.
And you're all beautiful. We're all beautiful.
And I had an experience this
Everybody.
weekend, and you reminded me to teach our sons and our daughters that and shaming them about things never helps. It just shuts them down. And so whenever these things, they're learning opportunities when they come up. My parents should have said, hey, at school or in the public, it's probably not a good idea for a little kid to be doing these anatomically correct pictures. Because I had Barbies, right? Barbies were naked, and that was no big deal as long as they had clothes on. Sometimes Barbies were laying around naked, but I think it was just the act of me understanding and to be able to actually put it on paper scared them for whatever reason. And fear is where all that comes from. Fear is where shame comes from. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really powerful. I did another post the other day that the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is when you step on somebody's toe and you feel a little bad and you say, I'm sorry. Shame is saying, I am bad. And so I think for so long I thought I'm bad because I like art and I like to do a certain kind of art, and it's not okay. So just be who you are and don't let one experience shut you down from something you love, especially for the rest of your life. Because I'm almost 50 and I've only been painting for like a year or two, which is another testimony to come take some lessons with us, because you really can become anything you want to.
Absolutely.
I'm talking a lot, but I also learned guitar about 2 years ago too.
I was just thinking about that.
And so literally I think, you think old dog, new tricks. I'm 50 years old. How
so
am I going to do this?
We keep learning tricks all the time.
Absolutely. So come learn some tricks with us. Right now we're in Rogers.
Tricks are not just for kids.
They're not.
All right.
Right now we're in Rogers on Monday nights, 6:30 to whenever really. And then she has a place in Fayetteville too called Jane's Place. It's on School Street, and she has classes afternoons and evenings most days of the week. But if you're in Rogers, you can come here.
You can actually go on our website and sign up for classes.
Oh, it's Jane's Place, isn't it?
Well, no, on our website it's on there too.
Oh, on our website. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool.
So check out that as well.
Oh, we got the sign up?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so great. I love it. She's such a techie genius. It's beautiful, beautiful. So go on our website, healingartscenters.com, and you can sign up for art classes, and all the details are there.
Can't wait to meet you, see you.
Yes, absolutely. Come play with us.
Create with you.
Create with us. Create with you. All right, we love you very much. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you back here on The Naked Doctor.
Thanks for watching.